Hey there. Hope you can see and hear me okay. Gonna go over here to a couple of these online pages and see if we're actually there. Okay, we are there. Come on. There we are. Good. Thank you very much. Well, I'm not seeing it there yet. There we are. Well, I don't know. You know, YouTube keeps saying I have an ad blocker when I don't. I don't know what their problem is. But of course, they don't know what their problem is either. So I don't know what their why they keep doing this. All I can tell you is, here, let's try getting rid of that for the time being. Let's see if that helps. Well, apparently not. So my advice is don't watch this show on YouTube if you can't get rid of the ad blocker. There's no other way to do it. Let me see here. I use two different browsers. On the Chrome browser, it comes in, so I have no idea why. On the other browser, well, they don't make this easy, do they? I guess the goal here is to make it as difficult as possible for people to use it. That's all I can really think of. Okay, we're live. No, this isn't it. That's an old one. Here we are. Okay. Great. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm trying to enlarge my screen so that I can see your comments, but Facebook's not allowing me to do that for some reason. Who knows why? There we go, but that doesn't help. I don't know. This stuff is so incredibly confusing at times. There we go. Well, I assume that you folks can hear me, but the problem is I can't see any of your comments. So I don't know at this point if let's try a different tactic here. Okay. There we are. Now I can see your comments. Hi there. Hey, Northern Barb. Hi, Mike. Okay. We're good. Let me just turn the sound off on that one so that it doesn't interfere with what we're doing, and we can play some music. Last time I did one of these, I was listening to the playback, and I heard this weird compression. And so I went back and I ran through all kinds of different settings to get rid of it. And one of the things that I discovered was somewhere in the fall, I downloaded a software extension for the microphone that I'm using. And it was predictably set on default, which meant that they were expecting me to be using it, giving a speech in front of a bunch of people, and then it was set to get rid of everything but the vocal right in front of it. And so what would happen was whenever I actually was playing the guitar, the entire volume would go way down. That doesn't appear to be happening now, but I'm going to play a song, and I hope that you folks will give me some feedback on how the sound is. Let's give it a try. As a galley slave, I was given a name that had nothing to do with my own, and learned to give twice for my bed at night, and again when the morning had come. And there was an old one among us, whose eyes seemed fixed on a fire, and I remember the night he stood watching that light from that most brilliant star, and then breaking his chains in a frenzy and stealing a sword from the guard, he said, "Show me the way to Calvary, or I'll kill you right where you are." Now I who care nothing for politics, or for the meaning of the stars in the sky, I said, "Gather that key up and free me, and I'll fight by your side till I die." We didn't know then that the firstborn would be hand slaughtered in Palestine, as we murdered our way to a lifeboat and set into the dark maritime. After 3 days we landed in mountains. I said, "What shall we eat as free men?" He said, "Show me the way to Calvary, and you'll never go hungry again." We passed that first winter in the mountains, hot on like wolves in a cave, as the snow formed its blanket of silence. I swore I'd no more be her slave. He heard all of my boastful speeches by the side of a pitiful fire, but his ears always seemed to be listening to the music he heard somewhere high. And to me, who knew nothing of wise men, who believe in no God you can't see, he said, "Show me the way to Calvary, no chains will ever hold thee."
mind. I'd have left him to fend for his own self, except for that promise of mine. And we abandoned our mountain shelter for a long walk to Palestine, till I came back and found him dying, and me standing with blankets and wine. And with a grip of iron he held me, so close I could see through his eyes. And he said, show me the way to Calvary, and we'll meet again in paradise. It was many years later I stood there, the last of my line to survive. I watched him climb up that mountain with my own eyes barely alive. And they hung him right there in that sunlight, and they wrapped up his body in white. And I heard that old man there beside me as I cried all the day and the night. Now you, with your young years before you, you must see for these old eyes of mine. Oh, show me the way to Calvary. I've come to the end of the line.
No, Ray said you have to adjust your sound.
Oh, yeah? What's the matter?
It's echoey. You want to talk to him?
It's echoey.
You want to talk to Ray? The music settings.
It's... Oh, yeah, really? It's cutting in and out? Okay. All right, I can turn it down a bit. That might be a way to do it. Okay, hold on a second. I've actually got a... Hello, babe. Will I what? Do I what? I'm on the phone with Ray Misek, my alter ego in the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Okay, I'm turning the mic down 7 dB. I'm gonna put the phone aside for a second, but not hang up, and then I'm just gonna strum and sing for a second. Show me the way to Calvary, and you'll never go hungry again. Might take a second to get to you, but you can tell me if that's any better. Before. Oh, it's better now. Okay. Okay, I have echo cancellation off. But if I turn that on, then I lose the stereo and high high resolution audio, so I don't really want to do that. Well, here, let me try a couple things here. Let me just try one or two things. I'm gonna change the settings on this microphone. I'm gonna put the mic down for a minute.
Are you gonna just keep my phone? I'm over at Serena's.
Okay.
Just keep my phone.
Hey, could you get me a glass of water before you go? All right, so let's try. Let's see what this is. This is I don't want that. Okay, here's a setting on the microphone that's called Sing. Let's try that one. Oh, show me the way to Calvary, and you'll never go hungry again. How's that? That any better? That's a setting on the microphone that says Sing. Right. Sorry about this, you folks at home, but you know, I would like to sound good, and I unfortunately can't hear what you're hearing at the same time as I'm doing it, so it's kind of a tricky thing here. Okay, let's leave it there for the time being. I'm going to hang up and get back to work. Nicole left, so she's not here to take this phone call. So, okay. Hi, everybody. We're back. Bye. Okay, well, that may have been a bit of a time consumer, but hopefully it will prove to be worth it. Okay. Let's zip over here to Facebook. Guitar is low. That sounds better. Okay. I remember when there was that first dance in school. The boys lined up on one side of the room, other girls lined up on the other side of the room. Everybody trying to play it cool. And there was Zydeco. Oh, I just wanna dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just wanna dance all night with you. Hey, the river's flowing steady through the night and the day. I feel my life drifting out to sea. Oh, but I can feel my woman's love flowing into me. I know tonight we'll dance a night away. Dance to Zydeco. Oh, I just wanna dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just wanna dance all night with you. Sometime there'll come an end to all the fighting and the pain. Sometime we're gonna follow the sun. Sometime there'll be a world where all the hatred is gone. We'll dance to that sweet song again. Dance to Zydeco. Oh, I just wanna dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you
Zydeco. Oh, I just wanna dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just wanna dance all night with you. Oh, I just want to dance all night with you. Well, I hope that's better. I don't see anybody putting any comments in the thing there, so I'm gonna assume it is. Let's see. Over on YouTube. Hi, bud. How was Luna Cafe? In North Miami. Actually, it was really fun. I had a real good time. Very nice bunch of people, and of course the South Florida Folk Club and Alexis are real good pals. It's actually very good. I've been working on some new stuff, and even though I have a new CD that just came out this past summer, you know, I write lyrics sometimes and I type them into my computer and then I look at them and I think, I ought to try to sing this. This seems like a good season to try to sing this one, so let's see if I can make some sense of it. And, you know, this is a work in progress, so I can only tell you that it might get changed. I had to do a lecture on doo-wop this past week. So I'm in love with these 4 chords. It all started with a star and a great burst of light. The colors all exploded from blue to red to white, shining out into the vastness and the weariness of time. If you would have been there, it would have struck you blind. It all started with a star, and it ended with a bang. A big ball of gas had to take the outbound plane, and for millions of years, underneath the shimmering sky, there were volcanoes and meteors that refused to pass by. And somewhere in the wake of the fires and the heat, a small cell of carbon said, hey, I got the beat. Someone named it life, though there was no one there to see. But that's how it was, the authorities agree. It all started with a star, and when it turned its back, the dinosaurs died, and ice covered all their tracks. Spring came and all the creatures tried to look their best to find someone to put some twigs and feathers in their nest. It all started with a star, and it's still going on. From violet to rose to blue, every day there's that dawn. When clouds fill the sky and the rain pours down, we hunger for shelter and we thirst for the sun. With a star and a great burst of light, the colors all exploded from blue to red to white, shining out into the vastness in the weariness of time. If you would have been there, it would have struck you blind. Well, I don't know. Might need work. But you can't hurt me. You can't fault me for trying. Yes, it's better. Oh, good. Good. Thank you, but I can't thank you Yeah. A song against genocide. Well, you mean like, that's pretty vague, I suppose. And who could be opposed to genocide? You know, you don't usually see people walking around going, "Hey, wow, genocide's really a good idea, isn't it?" It's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about you know who. It's already way out of your control, no matter what you do. How can you live next to somebody who insists you have to leave? How can you live with yourself, watching the cities grieve? It's not about freedom, it's not about peace, it's not about profits or war. It's always and only about the things everyone is always fighting for. Survival and power and land, and of course some personal image of God hovering over the battlefield, waiting to give the word. But it's not about God, is it? God has no reason to take sides. Who can end the suffering? Who can heal the divide? Who can live next to somebody who insists you only have to leave? Who can live with themselves with nowhere left to breathe? Well, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about you know who. It's already way out of your control, no matter what you do. But how can you live next to somebody who insists you have to leave? How can you live with yourself, watching the cities grieve?
All right. This morning I did a musical. I did the musical performances for the service of the Community Church of Boston, which is a very powerful progressive church organized by Dean Stevens. They have a guest speaker each week, and they've had me online 3 or 4 times now, singing like 2 or 3 songs around the guest speaker. Today's guest speaker was a woman named Linda Whitmar, who has published a couple books, and one of her books that she was talking about today was that she grew up as a Jewish person in Israel. She was born there in the late 1930s, and as a 10 or 12-year-old witnessed the 1948 war. And about 10 years ago, she went back and she visited a bunch of sites, historical archaeological sites, and came away from it with the impression that that Israel had forcibly evacuated quite a few Palestinian villages and driven a lot of people out, which is no surprise and no secret, I suppose. It was a very powerful presentation, and though I don't know the name of her book, if you look up Linda Whitmar, Wittmar, you can find it. And it's she read from it, and it was quite good. A very personal account of her personal feelings about seeing these abandoned ruins and minarets and villages that have been what's the word? Resettled outwardly, so that they're now abandoned or being turned into something else. And it does give you a very close-up personal picture. And the fact that it's told by someone who grew up there as a Israeli Jew is quite unusual, I think, or is quite powerful, because she expressed a lot of deep regret and longing for the people that had been driven out, the Palestinian people. After it was over, they had a question and answer session, and a lot of people asked questions about what sect, what facet of Israeli society believed this, what believed that, and when the war would end. And I asked what the two sides could do to actually bring an end to the suffering, what they could do to improve the situation. And nobody had an answer. Nobody had any kind of answer at all. Linda Whitmar said that, from her opinion, the best thing that could happen would be for an international organization to be formed at the mutual consent of both the Palestinians and the Israelis, that would consist not only of people from the United States and Europe and the United Nations, but also some other third world countries that would probably be more sympathetic to what the Palestinian point of view is. But then she looked in the camera and said, the only problem is neither side would ever accept it as legitimate. They would have to accept that the other side was a legitimate negotiating party, and neither side would ever do that. And she then looked very sadly at the camera and said, so I suppose that in spite of all that I'm feeling here, there's no solution to this problem. It's pretty tragic if you think about that there's no solution to this problem. I'm sure that a Palestinian person might say, oh, the solution is for Israel to stop bombing Gaza. But it isn't quite that simple, because then people in Gaza would start bombing Israel again, I suppose, at some future time. It just doesn't lend itself to an easy solution. I'm with her. I would like to see the international community figure out a way to exert some influence that would end the suffering there. But given that both sides are unwilling to enter into anything like that, I don't really know what you could do about it. I think if I were the government of Israel, I would sit there and I would say, okay, we're going to stop right here. We've inflicted a huge amount of suffering and we've taken over all this territory, and we're going to just sit right here and not do anything for the time being. Don't fire on us. We won't fire on you. We're going to watch the situation, see what develops. Perhaps something can be done on the ground in a vacuum that would result in peace. But I'm not optimistic that either side has the courage or the vision to do that. And given that, I think it's time to move on to other musical matters. Well, let's see. Yeah, you know, Krishna, I'm not here to debate the Palestinian-Israeli war. I'm here to make music tonight, and I'm sorry. I understand that that's your prime concern these days in life, but it's not really. Though I view it at a distance with a lot of compassion for both sides, I think, and am horrified by the suffering. It isn't really. You know, an argument that I'm going to get into with you in the middle of the concert here. So I respect your comments, and it's time to move on. Don't speak to me of God if you just mean white on black. Speak to me of justice, and when you have done justice, you can speak to me of God. Don't shout to me of freedom if all you mean is profit. Whisper your compassion, and when you've shown compassion, you can shout to me of freedom. Tell me that of science, of knowledge, of wisdom, some light's bound to find the cracks. If you prepaid for your opinions and pre-ordered your ignorance, you should demand your money back. They don't sing to me of love and then assault my body. Show some understanding, and when you've shown your understanding, you can sing to me with love. And quiet if all you need is status quo, and there's a necessary change in the wind. If you won't speak for justice, you gotta know that justice will speak for herself again. Hey, don't speak to me of faith, yours or any others. Speak to me of justice, and when you have done justice, you can sing to me with love.
Well, let's play a request. You know, this coming Tuesday, I'm doing a concert with my band down here. It's called The Search for the Birth of Rock and Roll. We did one this past Wednesday in Boca Raton. We're doing this one in Jupiter, Florida. We're playing live, but it's also, I believe, being recorded for what they call catch-up, which means if you sign up for it and you can't make it in person, you can watch it online. And I'll be honest with you, it won't sound nearly as good. They're going to record it on 1 or 2 microphones, whereas we, are a 5-piece band playing rock and roll in an auditorium. But it could be fun, and you might check it out. There's a phone number if it interests you to find out more about it. Let me see if I can just give you the phone number real quick. I have it somewhere here on my computer. Thought I did. I think it's 561-799-8547. So it is something you can watch from anywhere. Mike. Well, we'll get to one of those. Saying, now look, it's a bloke and a bird gathered here today. Here's what he'd say: it's supposed to be final, brush your pompadour high, or the bright wall of vinyl, the groom a leopard skin tie, drop the corn in the slot. Are you ready or not? Yeah, it was a rock, rockabilly wedding, a rock, rockabilly wedding, a rock, rockabilly wedding. It's all right with me. The bells sing about shoes, blue suede if you please. There was no trace of the blues, nobody down on his knees. They were blowing that sound, even the preacher got down. Soon on a bridegroom's cheek, gone honeymoon to a 49 Ford, flames on the door. Yeah, it was a rock, rockabilly wedding, a rock, rockabilly wedding, a rock, rockabilly wedding. It's all right with me. It was a rock, rockabilly wedding, a rock, rockabilly wedding, a rock, rockabilly wedding. It's all right with me.
All right. Let's think about something a little closer to home. Hey, if you know who was governor 100 years ago, he'd have stood up for our freedom, don't you know? You wouldn't have to get vaccinated, and let me just say, it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Hey, it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. There was no one with the courage to stand in the way when they all got vaccinated and the disease went away. It's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Let's pay tribute to the wisdom and intentions of the man who sues the feds on behalf of all the parents in the land. So your 6-year-old can go to school and sneeze all around and not have to wear a mask or get a needle in the arm. And it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. There was no one with the courage to stand in the way when they all got vaccinated and the disease went away. Well, it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Now the governor stands for freedom, we can all agree. His freedom to tell the schools they can't teach what they please. His freedom to tell employers they can't protect their employees by making their workplace safe from infectious disease. Or his freedom to tell the health department they can't count the dead. And his freedom to tell the health inspector he's out of his head. And his freedom to tell the voters all the ways their votes are gone. And his freedom to tell women their bodies aren't their own. And his freedom to tell the legislature the maps they can't draw. And his freedom to tell the cities they can't have their own laws, lest they guarantee him victory. And just in case that smells, his freedom to fire everyone and count the votes himself. And it's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Hey, but you can have our governor, he's coming your way. He's a running for president, and you better not say gay. It's a shame we don't have smallpox today. Yeah, he's a running for president, and you better not say gay. It's a shame we don't have smallpox today. You know, I was listening to a report on NPR this week, and somebody mentioned that the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is a member of an organization, I don't know the name of it, whose president says that he would consider the death penalty for gay people. That's what they're thinking of out there, these people. I wonder if Americans are aware of the threat that is looming after the 2024 election of religious fascism. And I don't think I'm being an alarmist. I think that there are a large number of people, they're probably a minority, they're probably 15 or 20% of the country that thinks it would be a great idea. And if 30% of other people join with them, ignorant of the effect, it's what we're going to end up with. That's, I think, an important consideration in today's world.
high above the city, not eating any food. I mean, I will, but I won't. Watching the night go through all its changes. Don't want a woman. I mean, I do, but I don't. Sometimes in the city, you can feel the air change. There's a kind of hunger going around. Don't matter if you run, boy, there's nowhere to run to. Sooner or later, you gotta stand your ground. Well, I'm up on the mountain, high above the city, not eating any food. I mean, I will, but I won't. Watching the day go through all its changes. Don't want a woman. I mean, I do, but I don't. Yeah, when you have a woman, you might have to protect her. You might have to stand tall when you know you're right. There might come a day, boy, you have to defend her by walking away, boy, when you just as soon fight. I'm up on the mountain, high above the city, not eating any food. I mean, I will, but I won't. Watching the sky go through all its changes. Don't want a woman. I mean, I do, but I don't. Subway, looking at the billboards, all the pretty people in their underwear, people rifling the trash cans, sleeping in the doorways, talking about salvation to nobody there. Up on the mountain, high above the city, listening to the music playing in the night, remembering a man who said, come on and walk with me forever after. You're gonna walk in the light. Yes, and I'm out on the highway, looking for a station, stopping at the dance hall for a do-si-do. And I'm down in the basement, strumming with a few friends, looking for a wavelength on the radio. I'm up on the mountain, high above the city, listening to the music playing in the air, watching my life go through all its changes, looking in the darkness for a light out there. Hi, Leanie and David. Hey, Don Shanley. Nice to see you, folks. Well, I was thinking I'd like to play this song tonight. I play this one pretty often, but I don't get sick of it. I should mention for anybody listening out there that I have a few
shows coming up here and there. If you're in the New York City or Westchester County area, I'll be playing the People's Voice Cafe in New York City on February 17. And that will be with Mark Dan. I've done the last couple of years with Joe Jenks, but they asked me to do it this year by myself. The People's Voice Cafe did. No knock on Joe. I think Joe's simply not available anyway, but they said we want you to do an entire concert, so that's what we're doing. And then on Sunday, the 18th of February, I'll be at the Turning Point Cafe in Piermont, New York, also with Mark, and that's at 4 o'clock. I'm also booking some dates in late May and early June. I know I'm doing Dylan Fest in Stony Brook. I think it's May 19, I think is the date. I'm not sure. It might be 17. But it's that Sunday in May. And also I just booked the Cambridge Depot outside of Albany, kind of along the Vermont state line. I don't know how far that is for you, Northern Barb. Might be 2 or 3 hour drive across the state, but it's right on kind of on the Vermont-New York state line, northeast of Albany. And if you're in that area, it's not an easy place to get to. You got to drive down some windy back roads, but it's really a beautiful club and has amazing sound. We had the most wonderful concert there this past year. It was just a great experience. So we're going to be back there again. I think that's May 29, if I'm not mistaken. Also on that day, I may be doing a private event somewhere much closer to White River Junction in Randolph, Vermont. So if you're interested in having a Rod concert on Tuesday night or Thursday or something like that, we might be able to manage something. And I'll be back in the summertime to teach at summer camp in Vermont. On March, down here in Florida, on March 24, I'm doing the Emerald Concert Series at the St. John's Episcopal Church in Hollywood, Florida, a 4 o'clock in the afternoon show. Pretty much the best gig around here in South Florida these days for singer-songwriters like me. And an honor also to be included. I have been to shows there. I've seen Susan Werner there and Joe Crookston. It's a great venue and really fine audience. That's March 24, and there are advance tickets available from that. If you go on my website, you can find them. I think that's pretty much it. I'm playing in Goodland, Florida, just kind of a bar gig with Rex Blazer on the 18th of January, which is always fun. The Goodland Little Bar in Goodland's a great little spot. And in April, we're going to spend 3 weeks in Europe. We're going to go to Mike Riley coming to Cambridge. Good. We're going to Hamburg. We're flying to Hamburg, driving south, doing some shows along the way, playing in Switzerland for 4 nights, and then going to Graz, Austria, and then Zagreb, Croatia for 2 nights. And I think we're also playing a couple shows in the old part of Italy, the northeastern corner of Italy where I used to live, somewhere that weekend, and then back at the end of April. So if you're in that area of Europe, please come see us. Let your local fans know. Well, here's a song I probably would never written if it hadn't been for all those tours overseas. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet night, do you ever wonder how you first came in sight? The bells of the cathedral
were dying in the wind. You looked at me and smiled across your crowd of friends, and I felt a recognition, not of someone from the past, but of a true beauty that was meant to last. And I wanted to speak to you, or even say your name and get it right. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet night. Now you who sleep beside me here in this quiet life, do you ever wonder how you became my wife? The room was lit by just a candle. Over by the bed, you looked at me and smiled and turned your head, and I felt a recognition, not of from another time, but of the meaning of the words, will you be mine? And I wanted to hold you, safe from every sorrow or strife. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet life. Now you who sleep beside me here in this quiet place, do you ever wonder at the futures we face? At the sound of thunder, I look for shelter for two, and I walk through this world knowing I'll come to rest with you. And I feel a recognition, not a habit of right or wrong, but a feeling of arriving at the place where I belong. And I whisper I love you and leave you in your own state of grace. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet place. Sleep beside me here in this quiet night. Well, Northern Barb says you're near Shelburne. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess so. Shelburne's sort of down in the middle of the state there. That's not too far from where I teach, I guess. Up in the northern half. Actually, when the camp that I teach at in the summer, I'll be there the same weekend as Falcon Ridge for the following week. It's like July 27 to August 2nd, something like that. The camp is about 15 or 20 miles southeast of Burlington, up in the countryside. Well, it didn't stop at 9 o'clock because we had so many technical problems at the beginning of the show tonight. So I'm going to play an extra song or two. Although I got to say at this point, I'm not sure what.
As usual, I don't really have a set list, so I'm just kind of winging it here and playing whatever pops into mind. You know, Marla says on YouTube that she watched the GOP debate. My sympathies, really. I had a concert at exactly the same time in Boca Raton, and we had a big crowd. And when it was over, somebody said to me, "Look at all the people that would rather come see you than watch the GOP debate." And I thought, well, that's a healthy sign, I suppose. I don't really generally watch those things myself. Well, I haven't played this song lately in one of these online shows, and I don't see her on the comments tonight. But there's a good friend of mine who I teach with at the summer camp, who always asks for this song. And you know, I think of this song often as there's a particular part of it that I think of an old friend of mine a lot. One of my teenage childhood buddies in my neighborhood is a character in this song. Well, not in this song, actually, in a different song, but I'm always reminded of him. Hopefully I won't forget the words when I get to that verse. But he's an illustration, I think, of the way people get caught up in events that are outside of their control. The last time I saw him, we sat on my front lawn, and he literally said to me that he was on his way to Vietnam. He'd been through basic training, and they'd assigned him to an infantry unit. And he said, "I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm going. I mean, isn't it their country? What right do we have to even be there?" I said to him, "If you feel that way, you should try to not go. You should try to become a conscientious objector or something." And he said, "It's too late. I can't now." And he ended up going, and he ended up dying, and I never saw him again. And I think of him a lot. He was a really wonderful guy. And I don't know to what extent he colored my own experience, but I later discovered that I had the ability to attempt to be declared a conscientious objector, and I did it, and probably saved my life. Who knows? And you know, people just get caught up in things that are beyond their control all the time. So, Bill, wherever you are, I'm going to sing this for you tonight. Hey, everybody, say hi to Nicole. When we were sailors, we had 4 songs. 1 for the girls in the harbor towns, 2 for the weather, and 3 for the night watch, 4 for the rum that washed it all down. You can't change the wind, only change the sail. After the singing we would sail on. We had 4 dreams, 1 for the flashing bombs and terrified scenes, 2 for the stretches, 3 for the marches, 4 for us, we
When we were magicians, we had 4 fires. 1 for the transforming of desire, 2 for the cleansing, and 3 for the healing, 4 for petitioning the heavenly choir. We made rings of stone to be remembered long after the fires had cooled down. When we were children, we had 4 cups. 1 for the songs our parents taught us, 2 to hold the wishes, 3 to hold the marbles, 4 for the seasons that came on us. Through field and street, we played hide and seek after the childhood we would play on. When we were outlaws, we had 4 kings. 1 who wore his hair down in golden rings, 2 who went to war, 3 who were murdered, 4 who claimed to rule over everything. And though they bent the green, they could not see the queen. After the kingdom, we were free men. When we were troubadours, we had 4 songs. 1 for the legends we were handed down, 2 for the heroes, 3 for the dancers, 4 for the stories we passed on. We walked together a time down these roads of rhyme. After the singing, we would move on. Well, friends, it's getting late, and my 15-year-old is getting into exam week at school, so I'm going to sign off. And as we say after the singing, it's time to move on anyway. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you for sticking with me through the initial going tonight. We had a bit of a tough slog getting it to sound good, but hopefully it was worth it for you. I'm going to, if all goes well, I'll be back next Sunday night, same time, same place. And in the meantime, those of you celebrating Hanukkah, have a very fine celebration. And those of you celebrating Christmas on the horizon, getting trees and all of that stuff, I wish you a Merry Christmas if I don't see you next Sunday night, too. Thanks so much, everybody, and good night.